What's up everyone, it's Tyranitartube and welcome back to another Pokemon X and Pokemon Y theory video. So Pokemon X and Y have been out for the past 2 months now, and everyone's been having a blast with it, especially with Wi-Fi battling. However, unlike every other main series Pokemon game in the past, we haven't been able to openly hack the game. For games such as Black and White, we've been able to discover every single Pokemon within the first few hours. Nintendo did a really good job with Pokemon X and Y's anti-hacking defenses, and it took us 2 to 3 weeks for the game to be even minorly hacked, and it was only accomplished by one young hacker by the name Smealum. On October 31st, Smealum posted images for the 3 hidden legendaries in X and Y, and that really is the furthest he chooses to take his hacking abilities because he doesn't want to leak too much about the game. Now what really caught my eye in this leaking was a Pokemon called Diancie. Diancie is the 719th Pokemon in the National Dex, coming right after the Z Legendary Zygarde. Its location in the Pokedex tells us it's a legendary, but it unusually bears a strong resemblance to another existing common Pokemon of the same generation. This Pokemon is Carbink. A relation like such has never really happened in previous Pokemon games. How can a common Pokemon be so similar to a legendary? Let's find out. Let's start off with the basics. Carbink is a dual Pokemon known for its high defenses in both defense and special defense. It also has a rock and fairy typing. Similarly, Diancie is also the dual Pokemon and also has a rock and fairy typing. Already we can see basic similarities. Looking at the two appearances in relation to each other, we can see major resemblances. Both of them have a giant mineral as their base with several gems in it. Carbink's base has blue gems and Diancie's base has pink gems. They both have a white furry coat over themselves. Carbink's coat is small, covering its neck all around, and Diancie's coat is much larger, coming down like a dress. There are also gems located on both of the upper sides of their bodies as well. They both have a gem on the center of their chests and a larger gem between their eyes through their head. And finally, they both share the same skin tone and mineral color, which is gray. Their appearances have major similarities in them, and using this, it is rumored that the two Pokemon are actually related. Nobody has really dug deeper into this mystery, so it's time to take a closer look. Let's start with more basics. Carbink's name seems to have derived from the word carbon, and Diancie's name seems to have derived from the word diamond. Diamonds are actually made of carbon atoms. When carbon is under extreme heat and pressure for a long time, it will eventually become diamond. Looking at these two, they do look like they represent what their name seems to. Carbink seems to look like solid carbon, and Diancie not only seems to have the same carbon-like features as Carbink, but also pink diamonds all over itself. Its recently confirmed Pokedex entry seems to support this as well. It can instantly create many diamonds by compressing the carbon in the air between its hands. In addition, their names also hold more information. Carbink's Japanese name is Mareshi, and Diancie's Japanese name is Diancie. Even their Japanese names carry a resemblance to each other, further supporting their possible relation. Even though they look similar, sound similar, and act similarly, they have to be similar as a Pokemon. By this, I mean their stats. If Diancie is related to Carbink, its stats must have some sort of relation to Carbink's as well, whether its stats are scales of Carbink's or inverses of Carbink's. Carbink's base stats are 50 in HP, 50 in attack and special attack, 150 in defense and special defense, and 50 in speed. Carbink has a shuckling amount of defense and special defense, but loses most of this defensive potential in its HP. Now Diancie's base stats? Smealum decided to keep that a secret until Game Freak decides to officially release these Pokemon, but that doesn't stop us from figuring it out. Smealum uploaded screenshots of hacked encounters with legendaries. In one of these screenshots, he is showcasing the encounter of a Lugia, and he is using a Diancie against it. Considering that Diancie was hacked into the game at level 100, we know that it wasn't EV trained. Also, since its encounter was hacked, its IVs are generated like normal Pokemon, not like legendaries with 2 or more perfect IVs. Pretty much, if you didn't catch any of that, the HP shown in this image is close to its minimum HP stats. Any Pokemon with base 50 HP will have 210 to 241 HP at level 100 if they are not EV trained. This seems to fit the puzzle perfectly as Diancie has 221 HP in this image. This also matches up with possible stats leaked for Diancie as they were leaked by Pokebeach recently, who also may have these legendaries hacked into their games. Its stats according to Pokebeach at level 100 are the following. And using these stats, we can calculate Diancie's base stats. And by shaving off possible IVs this Pokemon can have, we are left with 50 in HP, 100 in attack and special attack, 150 in defense and special defense, and 50 in speed. Its stats add up to 600, and it also has more potential offensively than Carbink does. It has 100 more base stats than Carbink, evenly distributed to both its attacks, and it can also learn moves Carbink can. As additional information, we also know that Diancie gets a signature move called Diamond Storm, a 100 base power attack with 95% accuracy. Comparing the two base stats, we can see that both Pokemon have extremely high defense and special defense, but very low HP. Alright, now let's look at what other speculators have been able to theorize and prove them plausible or not. The first theory suggests that Diancie is related to Carbink through direct evolution. By this they mean Carbink will evolve into Diancie when certain conditions that are unreleased at the moment are met. However, we are able to run tests by testing the defensive capabilities of a Carbink holding an Eviolite. An Eviolite boosts your defense and special defense by 50% if you're an unevolved Pokemon. Carbink is unaffected by the Eviolite, which means Carbink is not capable of evolving. However, it is possible that if Carbink is only capable of evolving through an exclusive event, that it may be considered an exception to the Eviolite, as Carbink cannot normally evolve. The second theory suggests that the relation between Carbink and Diancie will be similar to the relationship between Manaphy and Phione. For those of you who don't know about Manaphy and Phione, Manaphy is a Ranger exclusive secret legendary like how Mew was in Generation 1. If a Manaphy is bred with a Ditto, you get a new Pokemon called Phione. Although Phione is the offspring of Manaphy, it cannot evolve into Manaphy. Speculators are suggesting that Diancie is an event exclusive legendary that can be bred to create Carbinks, which cannot evolve back into Diancie. This theory is entirely possible and is up there as one of the most plausible theories. The third theory revolves around Diancie's Pokedex entry. It can instantly create many diamonds by compressing the carbon in the air between its hands. This theory states that Diancie is the mother or queen of all Carbinks and is the creator of Carbinks. They theorize that when a rock is enchanted by a Diancie, it mutates into a biotic creature known as Carbink. It is also theorized that Diancie used to be a Carbink, the first Carbink, as it takes millions of years for carbon to form diamond under pressure. Evolving into Diancie over millions of years, it is now the queen of all Carbinks. This theory is definitely plausible, as are the other two, but in my opinion, this is probably the best theory out there. But in the end, these theories are all fairly weak, but they are all possible answers to the relation of Carbink and Diancie. This is all we can make out of what we received so far, but with all of the hints that we've dug up, I'm sure that these two are definitely related to each other. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and be sure to let me know your thoughts on these two in the comments below. Do you think Carbink and Diancie are related? And if so, in what way? Also, be sure to share your own theories in the comments, as I'm really excited to hear what you guys can come up with. There are a few more theories I want to cover, so if you don't want to miss them, be sure to hit that subscribe button.